welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about The Terminator, directed by James Cameron. I absolutely love this film. It's one of my all-time favorites. I was very excited to watch this, and after seeing it so many times, watching it once again, it still does not disappoint. I love this movie. It's amazing. I love how this film just doesn't waste any time. It's got a very short run time, especially compared to other action movies. This film just gets right into it. Pretty much first scene, you meet Arnold as the Terminator, and then you meet Reese. Then just the plot just immediately starts going. I love how that happens. This movie does not waste any time with the boring details. It just gets right into it. It's great. From the very first scene that you meet the Terminator, Arnold, in where he walks up to those guys, you know this guy is a serious threat. When he freaking rips that guy's heart out, you're like, oh wow, this dude is pretty tough. Don't want to mess with this guy. It's a great introduction to the character. I love everything building up to the moment when Reese, Sarah, and the Terminator finally meet. Just the build up to that is just perfect. From when you see the first Sarah Connor death, where all of her friends are like, "Hey Sarah, look at this! This is so funny," and Sarah laughs, but you can tell she's a little creeped out and she's a little nervous, but she brushes it off. And then, of course, on the second Sarah Connor death, this is not just a coincidence anymore. There's someone on the hunt for Sarah Connors, and Sarah, at this point, obviously becomes very paranoid. She gets very worried. She goes into hiding. It's just great. While she's starting to get worried, we're also worrying for her, because we see what the Terminator did to the first Sarah Connor. We see how ruthless he is. Already, in the short time that this has been building up, the Terminator has already killed so many people in his path, leaving a trail of bodies. And the scene where he breaks into the apartment and kills her roommate and her boyfriend is a great, intense scene, and really sad too. You feel bad for them. This film is an action movie, of course, but it, honestly, at most parts of the movie, it doesn't even really feel like an action movie. It's more of a straight-up horror, honestly, most of the time. It's so suspenseful, and just the entire time, the Terminator is such a threat, and he's just it's virtually unstoppable force that he's terrifying. The movie is incredibly suspenseful the entire way through, but especially the climax. The climax is just insane. It's just non-stop, heart-pounding, nerve-shredding suspense and anxiety, and it's phenomenal. Perfectly done. My only real problem with this movie is some of the special effects. For example, the makeup on Arnold Schwarzenegger's face when he gets like his first wounds, when he's trying to heal up his face. It looks really cheesy. It's kind of distracting. Also, of course, the final scene where he's in his robot form, when all the skin has melted off of his body and he's chasing them. It's obviously stop motion. It's very creative of the filmmaker to do that, but it is a little cheesy, I have to say. It does take me out of the movie a little bit each time I watch it. I can overlook it, obviously. Of course, the technology wasn't really there to make it insanely realistic, you know, how we can do it today. So for the technology they had at the time, they did a really good job with it, but the effects definitely don't hold up these days, and it does take me out of the movie just a little bit. I also love the whole time travel plot with Reese revealed to be John Connor's dad at the end. It all ties up, and it forms a little time loop paradox thing. And I love when time travel movies do that. It makes a time loop. It makes a sort of a time loop that you have trouble wrapping your head around, and it makes your brain hurt a little bit just thinking about it. But it was really cool of the movie to do that. And also at the very end with the picture, you see how that picture was taken. It just all ties together really nicely. I like it a lot. Not only did I watch The Terminator, but I actually watched the Terminator trilogy all in one night, just like I did with the Dollars trilogy. I watched the Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and then I watched the new movie Terminator Dark Fate. I'm going to briefly talk about these movies a little bit But if you want a more in-depth discussion, me and my good brother Zachary actually have started a podcast available anywhere podcasts are found. It's called Our Week in Film. So you can look that up, check it out. The new episode is coming out, and we're going to talk about the Terminator trilogy, and that's all. I'll go more in depth on Terminator 2 and Terminator 3, I guess it's called. But really quickly, Terminator 2 is better than Terminator, the original Terminator. I give that movie a 10 out of 10. It's insanely good. It's better in every way than this Terminator. It's insanely good. Maybe my favorite action movie of all time. It's just pretty much perfect. And I also watched, of course, Terminator Dark Fate for the first time, and holy crap, it was so terrible. I gave it a 3 out of 10. It was insanely bad, especially after watching these two masterpieces right before it. You can really tell the difference in quality between the first two movies and Terminator Dark Fate. Just, it's terrible. And again, if you want to hear a little bit more in-depth discussion on that, I have a podcast called Our Week in Film, available everywhere podcasts are found. But that's about all I have to say for this review, guys. Again, overall, I really, really love The Terminator. It's one of my favorite action movies of all time. It's one of the best action movies of all time, in my opinion. I love it dearly. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Oh my gosh, you gotta watch Terminator. And of course, after that, watch Terminator 2. It's way better than Terminator 1. It's one of the, probably maybe the best action movie ever made, in my opinion. I love it so much. And that's about all I have to say. I give Terminator a 9 out of 10. If you like the video, hit subscribe. Next, I'm watching The Grand Budapest Hotel, so I'm excited to watch that. I've never seen it before. I love Wes Anderson, so I'm excited to watch that one. Yeah. See you in the next video, guys. Peace out. Bow, bow.